Hello travelers, and welcome to the Horror Green Book, the channel that takes you from coast to coast and con to con. I am your travel guide Brendan, and tonight we're bringing you a very special preview of Screamboat. I'm here for a sneak peek while I'm here in town for Days of the Dead, Las Vegas. So we're going to have a great time while I'm in the theater. We're going to see a Q&A after the showing of the film that will have cast members in attendance. So I will bring that to you guys. So hang out along with me and let's go and check out some fun for Screamboat. You see the line of people. It is a very nice theater here. I'm at the Brendan Theaters, very close to my name, guys, except for I have an O at the end as opposed to an E. Very nice. So I feel at home here, guys, and I have lots of horror fans here in attendance to get some very cool frights. Gotta love the cool designs at this theater, guys. Very nice vibe. So it's gonna be a fun night of horror. Well, fun weekend, I should say. It's only beginning. So stay tuned, guys, and make sure to subscribe if you are new to this channel. You don't want to miss all the cool things in store for you. Alright guys, I have received the official Screamboat poster. They're giving out some merch and different items. So I can't wait to go check it out. Alright guys, and of course we're here for Days of the Dead weekend. It's an awesome bonus to be able to see this early, so hopefully it's going to be a great watch. And I'm sitting here and they have some trading cards that they gave us, so gotta love having some good merch. Alright guys, we got DHT in the house. We got some great fun. Gotta love it, guys. This is gonna be a fun time. I'm so happy to be amongst one of the first people to check out this film. Be on the lookout for a review right after this, guys. We got Rick, aka Selfie Guy, here as well. And I believe there was Daniel Roebuck as well.
Without further ado, let's introduce the writer-director,
Stephen Lamort. How about one more round of applause for these guys in Days of the Dead and the festival. They're so awesome. They've been so supportive. Yes, as they said, my name is Stephen Lamorte. I am the writer and director of Screamboat, the film you guys are about to see today. Yes, thank you very much. We are so excited to have all of you here. You are helping us make Screamboat history. You are the first audience on the entirety of planet Earth that's going to get to see an early look at this film. So give yourselves a round of applause. You're like our first chance to see this thing up on its feet and get a sense of how it works, and if we need to tweak it a little bit before we bring it to theaters in April, that's going to be all thanks to you guys. So thank you so much for being a part of Screamboat. Independent horror films do not happen without each and every one of you fans coming out and showing the big studios that little movies matter. So we appreciate you. We are so thankful for you. This is a comedy. Have fun with it, okay? Feel free to laugh and cheer and just have a good time here with us. We want to have a good time with you. Thank you very much for being here. Stay tuned after, and by stay tuned I mean stay seated, after, because we are going to have a Q&A. We have members of our cast here. We have David Howard Thornton, who plays... Somewhere in the audience. They're all going to be up here answering questions. We have the folks that helped us bring Willie to life. The creature designer, Christian Beckman, is here from Quantum Creations. So it's going to be great. Make sure you stay seated after. And on your way out, there is a step, and I've been told that if you fall, I'm personally responsible. So just, if you get up in the dark, just watch your step. And at the very end, again, just make sure stay seated for the Q&A. Without further ado, thank you all so much for being the very first audience in the world to enjoy Screamboat!
Woo! And last but not least, David Howard Thornton. Woo! Steamboat Willie. God Guys, give this entire team a round of applause. To even put together an independent film is just brutal all on its own, and to see their love, sweat, and tears, and put out right in front of you guys, that's awesome. And it is a different version than what I just saw, so awesome. It's like it's an ever-growing work in progress. So, all right. First of all, I got to ask Christian. Man, what a resume! Can you talk to us about putting together the creature, putting together Screamboat Willie, the design? Did you make the design, and exactly how much time you ended up putting into creating this?
Okay, well, first of all, the design goes to Christian Cordella for the design, the concept stuff. But at my studio, Quantum Creation Effects, we actually did build the puppet version, because we actually had a puppet version to try to make the actual scale and proportions. We had an actual hero puppet, rod puppet. We call it like a Boom Raku style puppet, where I can puppeteer from I'll have his feet attached to my feet with the rods. So I can go around and I can actually walk it, and make it do some moves. But then I also have an insert puppet, more of a hand puppet for a lot of scenes. It just depends on what the scene called for. But yeah, we spent probably 2.5, 3 months maybe in full developing everything. We did have to film with the puppet stuff first. That was the first thing up. So it was kind of an interesting way of trying to develop, the puppet and its proportions, and then David's suit and makeup, because obviously he's 6'1", 6'2". The puppet's only 2.5 feet tall. So it was tricky, because I would like to develop the whole version of David first, and then back into the puppet. But I think we did it in reverse, because we had to film puppet first. So with that being said, we did a lot of tricks to try to work with the proportions. And what we do, first of all, we'll take the concept, we'll blow it up on a large format on paper, put it on the wall, and just take a look at it. We just take a look at the scales and take a look at how we can get the proportions, cheat the proportions with the smaller puppet. There's a lot to it. We did start with sculpting David's makeup on him, so we have the exact look of him on him and everything that we needed. Then I would scan it, 3D scan the actual makeup and the sculpt of the makeup. And so with this, then we were able to produce the head of the little Willie puppet and start, working with our proportions, working backwards, if that makes sense. But we also, we did a lot of makeup effects as well. Cody Wilkins is here. Cody was like this right hand man, does the whole thing. Amazing effects artist and artist in general. But yeah, we did. We had a lot to do on this, and pretty quickly too. So, and with my company, we do a lot of, especially costume type stuff, makeup effects overall. But it's just fun to get back to just the good old-fashioned horror, in-camera horror, puppets, and just using all of the stops, just trying to keep with the makeup and in the makeup world, and then also dealing with the puppets itself. It's a great place to be.
Is this on? Here we go. Well, that was a night. My God, that was a whole night. It is so cool to be here amongst all of you guys. We so appreciate you guys coming out, going from where we came from in the freezing and overheated boat that we shot this on to then be in Vegas showing you this movie is pretty amazing. So we so appreciate you guys coming out and seeing this. It's just awesome. I just want to remind everybody here that this theater has some big fucking balls. Hyping myself up for that was actually, when we were doing the audition scene, it was just kind of, I just wanted to try something different that I thought maybe other people wouldn't do, and so I just went full throttle, and Steve was like, I just want you to try it this way, just go all the way with this, and we went for it, and we just, I think he told me, he was like, I want that speech to be my ringtone on my phone, and
he called me, I think, like 3 weeks later, and that was it. I was headed to New York, and I just was having a great time with everybody here.
That's awesome. Thank you for that one. George, you're up.
All right. Ms. Patel, it's your first film as a final girl. As far as getting your casting, you were in Stream with this crew, at least most of this crew. Casting decision, did you know ahead of time that you were going to be the final girl, or like when reading the script, or was this something you were approached with?
When I read the script, I figured out that I was the final girl. I mean, yeah, it was something, I've known these guys for a couple of years now, and it started with a project, I'm gonna say 3.5 years ago now, and we shot that in like Montauk, I think, and then I've been working on stuff with these guys ever since in different capacities, and I mean, it's been awesome. They're the most fun crew team I've ever worked with. It seems like their conversations are scripted because they're that funny to be around, and it was definitely something that felt like a kind of coming home, working with these guys and being the final girl for this piece. Steve's great. The whole team, Amy, was fantastic. Couldn't have asked for a better experience.
And as far as with those experiences on the film, was there anything that kind of stuck out? Because there was some memorable moments, especially some, heart-throbbing moments. Can you talk to us about those? and working with a tiny character.
Well, that was fun because he wasn't. It was often a mannequin sort of replacement, so it was sort of acting against that. But memorable for sure was dangling over the Staten Island ferry. That was harder than I thought it would be. I thought it would be like a Peter Pan, like, oh yeah, we're just gonna fling her around, and it was physically harder. And at the end of the day, or at the end of the take, they're like, okay, just pull yourself up. And I have no upper body strength, so that was really awkward to have 30 people looking at me like, that was fairly memorable.
This guy didn't hook you up to a rope?
No, it was, but you actually have to still climb. I thought it would be a lot more like, oh yeah, you just fire up with these ropes. It's much more of a, you're physically still trying to pull yourself up. So that was very, very memorable.
Michael Levy. Hi again.
Why the hell is that so ominous? Like, Michael Levy.
Michael Levy.
Why are you here?
That is so not true. You know I always enjoy seeing you.
You know I love you.
And it's not that I'm going to give you an easy question because we have history, but it's because I really, truly want to know. Was there any lore, like real lore, associated with the Staten Island ferry? And if so, can you give us one example? Maybe two. Let's see.
You know, it's funny. So many people don't know this. Myself and Stephen Lamorte went to high school together, actually, and Stephen De La Sala. We went to Monsignor Farrell High School in Staten Island, New York, and myself and Stephen Lamorte had started in a TV studio at our high school called WFPN TV. And we started out as two Studio B anchors, and one of our first sketches together, or pieces together, was on that boat, the Staten Island ferry. And we shot the piece. We were interviewing people at work, right? They're coming, commuters. And what happened was in the edit suite, we're putting the pieces together, and we heard, "Help me." This is right? Am I not wrong? Yeah. So we heard this "help me" thing, and we realized that boat is haunted. But it kind of became this kind of ongoing joke, and obviously Stephen has had success with The Mean One, and we've had some success, obviously, with Terrifier and Stream. So we've always been trying to find a way to work together on something and collaborate, and we thought that Screamboat would be the perfect opportunity, especially both being from Staten Island and having that experience with commuting, Staten Island Ferry, the haunted Staten Island Ferry. So yeah, it kind of all came together that way, and the perfect project to do this comedy, horror, bring our loves together. And also, I just want to thank Days of the Dead as well. I don't know if we did that yet, so thank you, Days of the Dead. Thank you, George Audrey and Bill, wherever he is, and Rick, and the whole staff. But yeah, you know, it's a real family affair. As you see, there's a lot of people that are up here with us, that are here tonight in Vegas, and that also are not, that we work with constantly, all the time. I know Danny Roebuck, just want to give him a shout out. There he is. There he is. Yeah, hundreds of things we've worked together with at this point. So like, we really like working together all the time. It really is a family affair. I don't know if I answered your question, but you know, I tried.
Somewhat, yes.
No, that's all right. Keep it fun. Yeah, it's actually, you know, I've, as Mike said, you know, we're both from Staten Island, so I've taken the Staten Island ferry like 10,000 times in my life, and when I was, it's a smelly good time. But you know, a lot of what is in that script is based on the real things I saw or maybe did, not murders obviously, but you know, so a lot of my thought process when I'm, you know, coming home from a late night of studying in New York City, obviously when I was a college student, is I would think of just how creepy the boat was, and you know, the late night the boat gets much smaller. They don't use the big giant commuter boats. They use these really tiny, creepy little boats, and you're never more than like 18 feet away from the craziest crazy person. So, and I always thought, like, once you're 10 minutes into the ride, you can't get off the boat, especially in January in New York City. You're not going to swim, so you're kind of stuck here. It's like Murder on the Orient Express, if the train can't stop. So I was like, oh, you know, there's got to be like a horror movie or something here. And then when I found out that Steamboat Willie was going into the public domain and that the Staten Island Ferry used to be a steamboat, I was like, oh, this is absolutely perfect. I can finally make my Staten Island Ferry horror film, and then just litter it with all the, you know, characters I've seen. And you know, Amy and I would go and we would drink beers on the ferry and just listen to people talking and write stuff down that they were doing, and all that informed the script. And you know, the lore of Steamboat Willie and sort of how he went from being his cute and cuddly self to the monster was something fun to develop, but the lore of the boat, having the boat feel like a character and be sort of a reflection of New York City, all these people from different walks of life and, you know, different races and economic status and all this stuff just piled and forced to work together and survive this crazy thing, was something I wanted to develop and make it feel like you get what it's like to ride the boat, and, you know, maybe keep an eye out for the murder mouse at events.
Has anyone in here ever rode any of the audience? Raise your hand if you've ever been on the Staten Island Ferry.
Nice. Great.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, is it haunted?
Yeah.
It's not that we didn't believe you, I just wanted to know what I'm putting out there.
Especially the one that we were on may or may not have belonged to a Saturday Night Live alum, and so it's an older boat. And so that one, we would go into the engine room and you would just hear sounds, and we were like, maybe don't film down there by yourself. Like maybe we go in pairs to that creepy bathroom.
Steve, just to touch upon your point, like we would shoot overnight and everyone would leave, and there was one point where everyone's off the boat, I'm there kind of transferring the footage over into the hard drives, and I swear to God, and I'm not somebody who's usually frightened easily, we make horror movies, so you know, that's just, we do.
Sick people.
But I would turn the computers off really, you know, and then run out the boat and then run it down the stairs, and I wanted to get the hell out of there because it really is a creepy environment.
And that's just the production team.
Amy, as far as balancing out the responsibilities of being an actor, but then at the same time the producer duties, how were you able to do that on this film?
It was definitely challenging, for sure. My character played a lot of days, and then when the days that I wasn't playing Amber, I was there working. But we have a really great team. Martine Malul is here. She's one of our producers as well. She's not in the room, but she's here. And we had a great team of people, and just like the Fuzz guys, we brought our team that we work with a lot in Los Angeles to New York with us, so we sort of meshed families together, and I just felt really supported in that way. And I love producing, but my acting days were the best days, for sure.
And as far as, even though with this concept, the timing of this, you know, it was intentional, clearly. Once the character went into public domain. So when and how was that approached when you guys were deciding to make this film?
We knew, what, at least 8-9 months before he went into public domain that this was going to be our next thing. And having just done the Mean One, we have a good team of lawyers that we spoke with, and they really suggested we do nothing until he was actually in public domain. So we were, you know, thinking about it, not writing anything down, not preparing anything until that day when we announced it. But that is when we really started into pre-production, and then, I don't know, 7 or 8 months later, we started really locking it all in.
January 1st, 120-page script fell from the sky. Just lucky, I guess.
Then I'll go with David. All right, so David, you've played Art the Clown. You played the Mean One with the same team. And now, I was gonna say Steamboat Willie, but Christian came up with a really great one. It's Little Willie. Every single one of these characters is silent but deadly. So as far as with this one, and he's a small character and you're a big guy, and that size differential and camera tricks, walk us through some of those challenging days of making it look legitimate, you know, real, whenever you're supposed to be a small guy, and you know, maybe even some stuff that made you clearly laugh.
Oh boy. But I actually didn't get to film on set with everybody else. They filmed everything there on Staten Island, and about a month or so later, I had just moved out to Los Angeles, so we filmed on a soundstage in Los Angeles. So they did all the fun, fancy digital projection and everything. So that's why they filmed everything first, so they could show everything behind me and I could go off of whatever else had been doing. And so that was a lot of fun for me. I felt like I was doing a newer version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in a lot of ways, because I was dealing with giant props and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. Giant penis. That was an interesting day. So yeah, but it was a lot of fun, because I've never gotten to do anything like that. That was definitely a new experience for me, to actually not be on set with my fellow actors and being able to play off of them and having to do things on a different scale. And it was, I would say also, the suit was very warm. Because I think it was like July I was filming my stuff there, and yeah, I would go through about 4 or 5 cooling vests a day. I was a sweaty beast in that thing, and it took several hours to get to the makeup as well. But it was a lot of fun. I had a great makeup artist helping out with all that, Margaret Prentice, who has done a bajillion movies and TV shows.
Margaret's worked in the 80s, like RoboCop and Legend, and lots of things like that. So we were lucky
like Hellboy.
To get her, exactly.
Yeah. So that was fun for me, just hearing all of her stories. And I was like, it's the makeup artists that know everything. They know everything about the actors. They see it all. So that was fun for me. But it was a fun experience. I think we were all laughing a lot. Margaret and I, one of my favorite moments we had on set is good. We decided to play a joke on Steven, and so I was like, Marty, you gotta help me out on this. I got a good gag to pull, and she bought me a bunch of Raisinets. And Steven was giving me direction, and he scared me at one point. And I let the Raisinets drop down. Yeah, totally weird. It was fun. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. I really only filmed for 4 days, and then I came in for ADR work to do all the whistles and everything. And that was actually a unique challenge for me too, because I am a voiceover guy, and I wasn't really doing voiceover work per se. I was whistling a bunch, and I didn't realize how hard it is to emote with whistling. It's really hard. But I had a lot of fun, and that's why I wanted to do this movie in the first place. It's like when Steven came to me with the idea, I was like, this is a fantastic, fun idea. It's because I'm a big, huge Disney nerd. I love Disney. I grew up on it. And Mickey is actually the first role I really played, like a leading character
back when I was in middle school, I played Mickey Mouse in A Mickey's Christmas Carol, and that's I think the show that really started me on my path, because that's where I realized how much fun I had just making people laugh in the audience, because we had things go wrong during the show. Like at one point, the Cratchit family table broke and shot this tiny chicken over the audience. It's like, oh, well, we got fast food tonight. and I just started improvising. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this feeling. I have people laughing with me, and I love this, and I want to do this. So when he came to me with this idea, it's like, it's just like it was with the Mean One. I had played Grinch before in the National Tour Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and I was like, this is serendipitous again. I was like, it's Mickey. I gotta come back and do this. This is a character that started me on my path. I've got to do a fun version of him. So I really loved having that opportunity to tackle this character in a brand new way.
Do the whistle.
Oh God, now I gotta wet my whistle. I gotta get see. Now you put me on the spot.
And
That's
after
the
you
hard.
answered the question.
Performance anxiety. Yeah, I know. Now I can't do it because I'm laughing. I know. There we go. It's hard.
Okay, JP, and not JK. So I have to say, everybody needs a Pete in their life. Everybody needs a Pete. What I loved about your character is, even though, you know, it's usually kind of the final girl has the really big arc, but I think the arc came with your character being so many phases of yourself in one film. Because you were kind of like, oh, I'm just a nonchalant guy and I help everybody and I'm sweet and I'm nice. And then it's, okay, shit's getting serious. And then it's, okay, I have to do something, but I still don't want to be captain, that's too much responsibility. So I really like the arc. So how, when you were preparing for that role and kind of, it didn't, nothing seemed forced in that. So how was doing a role like that for you?
A lot of fun, dude. I don't know. I kind of went into it like just knowing that I was going to be this kind of carefree, silly dude who at the end of it kind of turns into a hero and has like a little bit of romance, but still just stays sweet about it. And I don't know, it was kind of easy. I mean, everybody here made it really easy for me. I don't know. I mean, I did a lot of like little background stuff for myself. I just wrote down a whole bunch of shit of like who I thought I was, and my friends back home, who I lived with in Staten Island. I just kind of created this whole world for me that, you know, obviously doesn't show up here. I mean, it does in my performance, but it doesn't, like, you know, I'm not telling the world or telling the audience anything about what I did like homework on. But yeah, just doing that, just kind of like giving myself a little background, and then just knowing that we're kind of making like a real life cartoon. You know, so I would just do really silly shit. I remember tripping a lot. I know a lot of those didn't make the cut, which, you know, whatever, dude.
There sounds like there's going to be some things on the Blu-ray that we may be able to see some of that. But no, so what the reason I asked that is because the next question was going to be, were there any aspects of that role that you felt resembled you the most? Like, was it the hero? Was it the kind of laid-back, chill guy that has a really sweet heart?
Probably the laid-back, chill guy, who's always hoping to be a hero one day, you know? I'm hoping that I get my shot in real life to be a hero, but no, just like, yeah, I think the laid-back, yeah, the tripping part is the part that worries the most. But yeah, I don't know, dude, I just kind of went into it wanting to have a lot of fun. And I did. I don't know. But I love the arc. I love the whole thing about it. I got to the end of the script, and I saw that I was like saving this little kid from this mouse, and it like it broke my heart, dude. You know, like it made me cry at the end of it. And I thought, like, cool, this isn't just some like silly horror comedy. It's actually got like a good story. It's got a lot of heart, and I love that. I love the stuff I love to watch the most. Kind of revolves around that. around like real life people who like get their shot, you know, and I kind of feel like that's what this was.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. I love that. Stephen, I got another question for you. So one of the challenges, we watch a lot of films, besides the things we like try to watch because we're always watching films for movies, but films for movies. See, that is that sign of no sleep. Edit that, Angie, please. No, but
Movies for film, yeah.
movies for films, I am out. So one of the things that's always a challenge with films are the sound design, the wind blowing. With being on the boat and there being so many of those issues like the city noise, the water, how did you combat those elements? I mean, I know there's, of course, editing, but was there anything that you were able to do on set to prevent some of that from having to go straight to, you know, post-production sound and?
Well, we all had a sort of a clear vision of what we wanted the being on the ship to be like. So the team definitely took references that we had, not necessarily of the boat, because we could turn it on, but we couldn't like drive it around, they wouldn't let me.
I have a feeling you did it anyway.
Not for lack of trying, I just flip switches and stuff. So, you know, basically we just established which areas sounded like what, and then we filmed, you know, the boat was docked, and so we only filmed on one side of the boat, but the boat is symmetrical. So we would flip what the back side of the boat looked like so we could be on the front side of the boat to try to be as far away from the side, you know, from the street to the sidewalk. So, you know, there'd be an ambulance would go by and we're supposed, wow, we're in the middle of the water, we're so scared, we're on the roof, and then, you know, the help is coming. So it was a lot of, you know, just patience and knowing sort of the references, and then our amazing sound team sort of picking up the ball and running with it to establish when we're in the engine room it hums like this, when we're in when the engine is off but the boat is moving it creaks like this, when we're on, you know, the captain's deck, or when you know, we need to make 20 people sound like you know, 50 people. Sort of taking that and just expanding it and making it grow. And it was really important. You guys won't know this, but the hour before the screens, we were trying desperately to make sure that the sound was not just going to work, but work perfectly. And we got it working right before. Shout out to the team in the AV booth. Thank you guys.
You guys are awesome.
Crushed it.
Thanks,
Thank you
Preston.
guys. Killed it. Because we really wanted, you know, we don't just want to hear Willie's footsteps. They took the time to put his footsteps back there and to put the whistling over here and to have it echo when, you know, he's running from left to right. Because you feel like that is just part of the experience of sort of that, you know, that big screen thrill ride that we were trying to make when, you know, you have a tiny murder mouse chasing at you.
So we're going to have to wrap this up, but we just want to thank you all for sharing this with us. It's a great honor. We live for film, and apparently, you know, a lot of people do, and they filled this house, and it was a really special event. This is an amazing theater. The team here is great, so thank you guys all for being here. And we also want to thank the other team members, Duke Shoulders, that is our security manager, and Angie Sherrill, which is our media manager. We didn't do that earlier, and I'm sorry, and I am going to blame it on the sleep because you know that I love you guys so much. Thank you, I needed that.
Yes, thank you all for coming out. If you like the film, it would be so helpful if you could go online and please don't spoil the deaths or the ending or any of that stuff. But if you could go online and tell people if you liked it and that they should go see it in April when it comes to theaters, up on the big screen, just the way you guys saw it, that would be super helpful. If you didn't like it, the movie's called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You say whatever you want, I love that. If you want to help us even more and you're feeling like you want to get in front of the camera instead of just in the seats, we are going to have Steve DeLaSalle, this handsome devil over here. It was going to be out there with Mike Levy, who's toasted and loves to chat. They'll be outside, and they want to get your feedback, right? So if you want to,
I want to hear what you have to say.
So if you want to hop on camera and help us out, just say what you liked about the movie, or how beautiful my wife is, or how awesome David is. Whatever you want to do, hop on over there. They'll be out there with the camera. We would love to hear what you have to say, as long as it's positive and about us.
Also, please tag us. We'd love to reshare your stories. So please tag any of us. It'd be great.
Woo! That's the easy easiest way you can help us out. It doesn't cost you guys anything, and it's the best way to get little movies to have big reach. So thank you all so much. We love you. We make these movies for you. Thank you.
Alright guys, we have Daniel Roebuck right there. They're doing some post-film interviews and getting everyone's thoughts about the film. I'm in line. Can't wait to get my thoughts. It's been a great time. Well, travelers, I am just returning back to my hotel room from seeing an early screening of Screamboat. And wow, travelers, it was such a fun time. It is way better than I expected it to be. I mean, it was filled with all types of humor, got plenty of laughs from me, and obviously they did their research in regards to Disney culture, the Disney fan base. They got a few ribs in regards to us Disney adults. One thing that I found that was pretty cool about the film was the fact that you could also play a bit of a drinking game where you could take a shot for every time that there's a Disney pun in the film, and just try to make it towards the end without being too obliterated. But the cast and crew did a fantastic job. The actors, they did a great job of making you care about some of the characters, at least the ones that you're supposed to care about, and that you were you know, supposed to be on pins and needles with them being in a bit of danger. Amazing kills. There are a few cheers from the crowd in our particular showing. The special effects were very fun as well. The creature design for Steamboat Willie was a bit jarring at first when it was revealed, but you quickly get into it once you actually see it in the film, and you know, you look at it in a bit of a sense of humor type of way, and as long as you don't take it too seriously, you're gonna really enjoy it. It's something that I really recommend that you see with friends. If you're in a room full of people that you like, you are going to have a blast with it. David Howard Thornton does another fantastic job. I mean, what can't this guy do? But travelers, I highly recommend checking it out. It's a film that, you know, if you're someone that is a fan of horror comedies, I definitely recommend giving it a watch. I will be including a review on my letterbox coming soon to help, you know, jog the algorithm out that way, so that more people will want to check out Steamboat Willie and on Screamboat when it comes out in April. But travelers, I am your guide Brendan with the Horror Green Book, letting you know if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and chuck one of those Ash Williams severed hands at me. It lets me know that you liked the video, and it helps other horror fans enjoy my videos and find the channel if they haven't before. Comment in regards to anything that you saw, and lastly, if you want to stick around, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you are let in the know whenever I drop something new, because you never know, guys. I'm here for a bit of festivities here in Las Vegas, so I still have Days of the Dead left upcoming, so you don't want to miss that, travelers. But again, I am your travel guide Brendan with the Horror Green Book, signing off, letting you know that it is scary in those streets. So let me know that you made it home safely.